All right, we are back. While you guys were gone, I've done a little bit.
Hey, that's another money for a farm. Did you cheat in money?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, because we're here not to necessarily play the game, but to try stuff out. This is not how I would do it if I was going to do it myself. One thing that I changed is I grabbed this guy instead of the one that we were using because this works way better. I got something I got to show you though, but I'm gonna wait till more people get on because there's some cool stuff.
Seasons off?
Did I turn it off? No. Why would I? I'm seasons all the way now. I'm a changed man. So we have.
Until you lose your first crop and then you'll cry later.
Shut up. So I bought this field back here. This is my soybean crop. I didn't buy it because of that. I bought it because I want somewhere to put the cows
Moo.
and the chickens
Moo.
because we need to make milk and sugar. I see a flaw in my plan. How's that going to make sugar? What?
Chickens don't make sugar.
Eggs is what I meant. It's getting. I'm tired. It's late. It's been a long day. I didn't get to take a nap because, well, I got like 18 phone calls while I was trying to go to sleep. We had to build our own sugar mill. This map doesn't have a sugar mill. Now, if we're going to do the things that we said we're going to do earlier today, which is to do production, I can't make cakes. I can't make several different products without a sugar mill. So you can't even make milk without the sugar mill. So you have to have the sugar mill to do that. So what I'm going to do is we are going to oh, good. And I'm going to release what we made today as far as streaming. This is all going up on YouTube. So as long as the stream goes well, I'll just release the stream copy, but otherwise I'll release the YouTube copy that I'm recording. But this is our soybean field. I also, because we need sugar for the products that we're going to make, I purchased this still not harvested sugar beet field. Now, next month, which is tomorrow, we should be able to advance time, and I'm going to have to rent a harvester. We're going to get these, and we're going to make tons of sugar. These are our sugar beets, and they're going to turn into sugar at the mill. And so far, our farm is like negative $3 million, so that's great. I bought a couple different things. I bought the cereal.
Why is the birds flying out your field?
Because they're eating. That's not my field. That's the neighbor's field. Okay, so I bought the cereal plant, and that is where's our plants? Here? No. Here. So the bakery, this shows you, in the bakery, in order to make cakes, we need flour, sugar, milk, eggs, butter, and strawberries. By tomorrow or tonight late or whatever, I'd like to have some of these things done. People are asking about farming. People are asking about animals. We're going to have to do some of those. So I'm right here, Colton. What do you mean, where did I go? Yeah, I did not have a nap, actually. Yeah, it sucked. Anyway, grain mill takes all kinds of products, and you take wheat, barley, oat, sorghum, and they make bags of flour. We then take the flour to the bakery, and they make bread. They also can make cake, but we have to add all these other ingredients to do that. Now, the dairy, if we take our milk to the dairy, milk and sugar, we get butter, cheese, and chocolate. So we need to get milk and sugar, and we get all the butter, cheese, and chocolate that we need for our cake. But we also need to have sugar. So there's that, and we need straight up milk. So we're going to need all kinds of stuff everywhere, pretty much. They all kind of intertwine. So anyway, welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Jordy, for the subscription. I appreciate that. So yeah, I didn't go anywhere aside from I made some lunch / dinner. I did a little bit of farming, had to take care of the dogs and stuff, and then had to get my wife from work. And by that time, it's now. I laid down for about 15 minutes or half an hour, got 5 phone calls, and the dogs wouldn't stop barking, so I got absolutely zero sleep. So I am now completely wrecked. How do I know what name? His name's Jordy Raccoon. Wait, did I miss something? Talk, Babs. Babs, okay. So now that we got some people back, I want to show you this. Look. Watch the forks. We are in the American map. Yeah, you ain't streaming all night? Yeah, we are. No, we're not streaming all night. There's no way. The voice inside my head says we aren't because I'm exhausted at this point. Look at that. Oh, and it works on all the forks. They all do this. So what do you think about that? Hey, Saturn, how's it going? Look at that. So you can adjust the forks now on all of the devices. I've put all this. I limed the fields, obviously. We put the lime over here. So let's go ahead and get planting because it's already 2:15, and we need these fields planted with wheat. Who needs sleep? I know. I don't. Good, Toby. Well, I'm glad you got to see some stuff. We did several different videos on YouTube. There'll be more. Tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to release what we did earlier today on Twitch. And I'll be uploading or switching these over. I'll try to release as much as possible. Sleep is for the weak. Yeah. Or, well, do you mean weak like wimpy or weak like during the week? That could go both ways. What do we need to do? Gosh. Yeah, I don't. I've heard people say that. It could be with something with the browser too. I don't know. You're gonna have fun, Toby. So far, there's a lot to do. So, once again, I'm trying to get as much done as I can in the short time that we have. And yes, my voice is shot a little bit. I'll probably be out of voice by tonight. So, hey Tay Tay. Hey Tay Tay. That's what that says. Hey Tay Tay. Thanks for the follow, by the way. What's up, Scone? Scony? Help me out with that one. I've noticed with this trailer, you have to back it up a little bit. And I'm realizing I don't have any stuff for the seeder, so. Pretty much, I think all semi-trucks have diesel engines. I'm not sure of any that. I mean, I'm sure there's probably gas ones out there, maybe, but all diesel trucks. They're all diesel. What are you disappointed about, Tay? The forks feel great. They don't stick like they used to, and like you can see, you can adjust them. And that's true of all the forks that I messed with. Are you sad about Case missing all their tractors? Because I am. Oh my gosh, you watched them all. So I guess I released just enough videos. I thought maybe I hadn't put enough up on my wife's like, that's probably more than enough. Let's go ahead and take this over. So we're going to run this over to the shop and get some stuff. Yeah. Yep, you can buy silos and put them on there and deliver seeds that way. Kind of like you could back in with the replenishment container, but you have to fill them still. But you can do it without having to go back and forth to the shop. But I figure for this one, we'll just go to the shop and get it. But actually, you know what, Sienna? Now that you say that, that's probably a good idea to test that out because that's new. So, yeah, so the Warzy tools, I'm sad about that. Yeah, the fast baler is missing, like our baling wrapper mower thing from Vicon. That sucks because I need that for my series. But once again, Tayloa, I wouldn't fret it too much because I think that we're going to probably have that in a mod form pretty quickly. Like within who needs cases the wrong color? All right, so what's the matter, hon? I'm sore. What is that under? It's going to be under construction. Okay, construction. There we go. And we're going to go to containers. What is this? Petrol, medium petrol. Liquid fertilizer tank. Stainless steel fertilizer tank. These are expensive, good Lord. Can be filled with different products. Where do I want these? Land is not owned by you. What else do we have? So is that it? Tools. Stainless steel fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, and Karma, filled with different products. So seed is probably one of the things that we can, the Unia one, we can fill that with it. So I need to just figure out how to rotate this. So is that, nope. There we go. Probably put that right here. Okay. Ooh, that almost wrecked our field. Okay, so there's that. Over a minute, huh? Could be. I mean, we're running okay stream-wise. It's green, so I don't know what else to do. It just maybe Twitch is busy.
No.
Solid fertilizer.
Hang on, actually. You are on mine anyway.
Oh, okay. All right. Hello, Big Ron. Okay, so that.
See, normally I put it playing to make sure you're pretty much bang on.
Okay. Bang on. Okay, I guess I can't put it there. It's a little bit low. How do we raise and lower it again? Is it? No, that's rotate. I want to get this up a little bit. I guess that's it, though, huh? All right, so there's that. Thank you, guys. Oh, my gosh, Tayloa, thank you. My goodness. Yikes. Pushing that sub up to 98. Thanks, man. Awesome. Thank you, Tayloa. What is this? Oh, Diner's just a delivery point. We can't buy anything from them, so. This is 22, Louis. Yes, this is. And the fact that you have to ask, that's not a good sign because that means, no, it's not graphically that much more exciting. But it is still, the game-wise, it's a lot deeper. But it's 20. Now, don't be smart, Alec, wife. Okay, so what we have to do is take this, and we're going to fill this $105,000. Okay. Did we do it? Yep. Select the product you want to buy. What else can we put in here? Nothing else. Okay. There's no more storage. Well, we cheated that in, and mostly just so we can test this stuff out. Obviously, you're not going to start off with this, so. Seeds. Yeah, fill her up. There we go. Yes, she is, but she's very tired, so I don't know how comedic she's going to be. No blindness. Nope. You were not. Going to fold this up, get it ready to go. Bling. Bling. Yeah, I love the semi-gator. I'm with you on that. Let's see. Oh, it's filling up. Look at that. Oh. How do you winterize it? I know, it's funny. How do I winterize everything? No, there are 2 pickup trucks, and then there's 3 different semis. They're all max. We'll look at it real quick here in a second, Gator. Let me get... Oh, it filled up. Okay. I just need to get this guy working. This is stupid to place that thing there because now every time I seed here, they're going to get stuck. And we're going to grow wheat. Yep. From field to bin. However, they don't, just so you know, they don't unload the harvester. You still have to do that. This is a nice seeder. Wow. I didn't realize how large this was. I'm using the wrong tractor for this. Yeah, I'm not sure there's anything I really need to winterize aside from there'll be snow on everything. You said it's autofill. Yeah, it makes life easy. Now my truck's parked in the wrong place, too. I was thinking of the street, like making it really easy to access as you drove past it, and then... Oh, they're going to get stuck, Taylor. I can already guarantee you. As far as that goes, it's quite the same as the other version of Farm Sim. They do more stuff, but they still get stuck about. Yeah, I really think the case stuff it'll be in. It was a little disappointing to me too, because I like case. I like New Holland, so I like case. And it's fun to have sets of equipment, so it's kind of like they took away. Well, no, because they have a bunch of case stuff. They just don't have a lot of case tractors.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There might be a reason. There'll be a DLC.
Maybe they'll do like a new DLC or. Yeah, imagine that. My first farm is established with. This is not going to be the first farm. We are just playing for the weekend. We're actually gonna do a legit first farm. So don't worry. Yeah, I think they're going to get stuck only because of we placed that thing right there in the middle of the field. That's why I'm thinking they're going to get stuck. They don't normally get stuck, I should say that. I don't think that's what they're going to do. I really think that they're going to end up. They're not going to make you buy tractors that we've already had in the game. Those will come out as DLCs. Thank you for the sub, by the way, NW Pack. Well, you may not have gotten it because if I started streaming at like 6 o'clock this morning, Big Hunts, and stayed on all morning. So that's probably why you didn't get it. We'll hire a worker and let him go. I need to move this semi, though. And we were going to go buy seed and load it. Ridiculous. We'll let him go to town. I'm going to take this thing off and drive our little lifter forklift off the thing. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not going to charge us for case, so yeah. Anyway, once again, for those of you that just came in, look at this. Oh, you can actually extend and retract you can respace the forks. And you can do that with all of them. So, yeah, it's nice to have that. So, yeah, for the Mack trucks that we were talking about, Gator, I'll show you those in a sec here. Let me park this guy away, and then we'll look at them. Whoa, that chair. It is not at all a graphic overhaul. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Palette physics are not bad at all. They're definitely easier, a little bit easier than Farm Sim 19. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second too, Steve-O. So I would say the big changes. Oh, look at that. I would say the big changes are the opposite. They're not in the graphics. They're physics fixes. They're gameplay fixes. Obviously, we've got seasons added now if you want to use seasons. They've got rocks in the fields. They've got all kinds of production chains. Obviously, new maps. But it's a lot of big changes. There's a lot of big. The game they've added a lot to the game. Basically, what they've done is they've made it so that you're going to want to stay on a map a lot longer than you used to. And you're also going to have to use peripheral items like greenhouses. You're going to have at least one greenhouse. You're going to have chickens because some of the recipes require eggs. So you're going to want to have some chickens to provide eggs. The pickup truck is actually useful now because you're going to need to transport that stuff to where you're producing the food and stuff. Now, once again, people will say, well, that was already in a little bit in the game. Obviously, like I had my Klaas brewery. But the problem was those things only work with that map. So with this, you're actually getting them to work with a whole bunch of different stuff. So I would say, this is a good change.
I'm interested to see what some of the mod maps are going to
Moni and I, my wife and I, are interested to see how they do with the mod maps and how those changes are going to affect mod maps. So once again, for those of you that just joined, I've purchased since this afternoon. I purchased this soybean field back here, not for the soybeans, but for the ground. I need some ground to put stuff on. We're gonna put down a cow pen. We're gonna put down chickens. We're gonna have to buy the materials to feed them through the winter, which sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, so Nathan, right now I'm gonna show you the trucks, and we'll also take a look at Steve-O's production chains. So, no problem, dudes in time. Hey, man, real life comes first, always. So that's not what we want to look at because this shows us just some of the stuff. Let's see here. If we go here to the dollars, there we go. We got wheat, barley, oats, canola, sorghum, grapes, olives, sunflower, soybean, corn, potato, sugar beet, cotton. I'm still not sure what that is. Cotton, sugar cane, and then we have the seeds, obviously what we own. Eggs, wool, milk, wood chips, silage, hay, and as we get towards the bottom, we're going to start getting into things that you can purchase, like road salt. That's for the snow. Hey, Bin Pin. Flour is one of the things that you produce at the mill. You can then take flour and put it into the bakery, and the bakery will do bread. And if you add more ingredients, they will also do cake. With the milk factory, you can do butter, cheese, and fabric. Not fabric. Butter, cheese, and chocolate.
How'd you get fabric from chocolate?
So, yeah, you like stitch the eggs together, and it makes fabric. There's a sugar plant. Obviously, we have bees now, so we have honey. There's an oil plant. You don't use these oils for anything aside from just selling them, but you can make oil. If you have the cereal plant, you're going to need to have a raisin thing. So you're gonna have raisins, and you're gonna have grape juice coming out of that, and then you take the raisins and deliver them to the cereal place, and then you make cereal. So from the greenhouses, we have lettuce, tomatoes, and strawberries. You got obviously chocolate.
It's tomatoes.
You can make planks at the sawmill, and you can take the planks to the furniture store and make furniture, and then sell the furniture. And then, of course, you have the typical these things. So there's a ton of different products. Stones come out of your field, and you can sell those at the crusher. Yes, dear?
Say tomato.
Tomato.
No, tomato.
Tomato. Potato, potato. Let's go to the shop.
No.
The tomato shop. I'm posh. Okay, so Gator wants to see the trucks. Because Gator likes trucks. We have... My eyeballs are not finding the trucks. I found the pickup truck. Where is the semi-truck? There, right there. Okay, it's right in front of my face. Mato. I like Raisin Bran. That's funny. I know a lot of people do hate it. So we've got this Mac, obviously. And then we've got this Mac, the Pinnacle, which I guess was a 90s truck, and they still make it today. 6x4, and you got different engine setups. You got day cab, evening cab, sleeper cab, and full-on freeway cab with fuel protection. I'm making stuff up. Sleeper 70 cab. There's cabs right there. So you can customize it any way that you like, any color that you like. Well, some colors anyway. Let's go ahead back. And then the last but not least, we have the Mac Anthem. Once again, day cab, afternoon cab, evening cab. I live here cab. What, babe? Oh, that's nice that they're doing that, though. That's nice. Okay, we'll go to bed. I know. I've been yelled at a couple times today. How come you have it? I'm like, well, I don't know. Because people come and watch my channel sometimes. I don't know. We had 200 people today. Oh, we're up to 108 already tonight. 240, I think, was our max number. It's crazy. All right, so that field's done. We need to grab this guy. Oh, my pickup truck's in the middle of the road. Is he somebody working it? We'll just leave it. I need to get that guy working. We'll come back and get that later. Come on, get to work. We got like one day to get this stuff planted. No pressure. Pressure. Patrick, thank you for the gift subs. Well, because they want it early, too. So they're like, well, how come you get it? Because you suck and you shouldn't get it early. And I'm like, well, I know, but at least I try. All right, worker, go. Go, worker, go. There they go. 254. Whoa. I didn't see that. That's great. Okay, so we have a guy blocked by an object already. Okay, so that's good. So we're doing that. So nothing is ready to harvest yet, I don't think. We have a couple things that are still growing that we're going to have to harvest tomorrow. The canola I'm just going to get rid of. I'm not going to do the oil factory right now. I want to get 2 chains working, but I'm going to clear this field tomorrow once the guy's done planting because there is no suck, just not. Wait, I'm trying to find a good Star Wars reference for that. There's no... Maybe just do. I don't know. Whatever. Never mind. We are going to put. I know people in low places. That's right. We're going to put our cow pasture here. We're going to put our chicken coop here. We're going to put a greenhouse here to make strawberries. Thank you for the sub, man. And I'm going to also put in cement here and get rid of this. We're going to make it a real road. That's a sore point, Killian. I don't even want to talk about that. It's been I'm beyond stressed out, and I'm very unhappy with my YouTube videos, but it is what it is, so I'm just trying to get over it and move on. I just wish we would have had a little more lead time so that I could have put together some quality content. Instead, I had like stuff that was rushed, and you know, it came out crappy, and people were complaining about it, and I'm like, "Ugh." But whatever, it is what it is. I'll get over it. I am super glad to have early access that I do have, and I'll tell you what, it's been a super big success on Twitch. So there we go, we make up for it. But oh, good, Gator. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear he's doing better. It's scary when they're sick, you know. Been there. Actually been with the no warning, too. Like, oh, my gosh, well, I guess that's it. Enjoy what you got, man. We're just going to do this one by hand because it's so small. Oh, by the way, there's herds of deer now. Look at this. They do run away. They cross the road even. I almost hit some on the way back. So I haven't found any bugs. I did mess around a little bit with the graphic settings. So earlier somebody told me to put it on DLSS. And when I came back in, I felt like everything looked fuzzy. And so I actually found out that with this computer, the best setting is with the anti-aliasing off and using DLX or DLAA is what I set this to, and it looks great. The frame rates are good. When I turn all that off, it gets a little bit choppy. But when I put DLAA on it uses the NVIDIA pipeline, and somehow it makes it like more efficient without any scaling, and the game looks great. So you'll see that like the grass looks a little blurry at times, but then when you stop, it sharpens up. I want you to look. Okay, so put a big one down and feed them. Uh-oh, okay. Did you get fed to the pigs? So watch the grass again right at the edge of the field. Now when I stop, watch what happens. Do you see it resolve? I don't know if you guys can see that or not on the stream, but I'm going to stop again. So this is what the DLAA does. Stop, and it resolves. So things look a little bit blurry while you're in deep motion, but when you stop, it resolves out. But after a couple minutes, you don't really notice it anymore. But it allows you to have really good frame rates and turning everything up without... Anyway, that's some NVIDIA thing. But you see the tree looks a little bit fuzzy, and then the barn looks sharp as the tack. So, anyway. Yeah, the game is pretty much ready for release. That's one of the reasons probably why they held off until like really close to the end. So, yeah, I think that, I don't know, a lot of people are saying they don't see any difference graphically. It does look a little bit more cartoony. I do agree with that. But I think it looks good. And for once again, what's it about? Are you about graphics or are you about enjoying a farming game? And once again, I haven't seen a farming game out there. Now, there are other games out there that look better, but I haven't seen a farming game out there that looks better. This is about the best that we have right now, and we need to learn to be happy with that. So, for now anyway. All right, so we're going to just park this here. Once again, I don't have room to put all this stuff. Now that we have those fields seeded, I think we're ready to move on to the next stage, which is going to be sleeping for the night and then waking up in the morning and finishing some harvest. We're going to do some harvest and try to get some product together to take to the mills. So, yeah. And I still think the graphics are good. Once again, they're not the best graphics I've ever seen. No, it's not Grand Theft Auto. No, it's not Red Dead. No, it's not even SnowRunner. But they're still not bad. My driving, however, is just bad. Okay, we're going to leave that there. Whatever. Leave it there. And we're going to go to bed for the night. Oh, we got to get my pickup truck. I forgot. That's sat in the middle of the road. I must have been coming over to the bakery to take a look at what they needed. So we need milk. We got sugar beet for sugar. All right. So we're going to get into a lot in just a couple minutes, guys. It's going to get crazy because we're going to have to start harvesting all kinds of different crops that we haven't done yet. So I'm excited. The guy in the van's been waiting for 4 hours for me to move. Yeah, pretty much. It's like 10 o'clock this morning. Yeah. All right. So parking for the night. I left my little crap all over the place. Yeah, and actually you'll be able to. The game is pretty scalable from what I understand. So older computers should be able to do it just fine. Since I've only got one copy. Uh-oh. What's the bad news, Tayloa? You said I hate to share bad news, but what? All right, and we're going to send this guy off. I haven't had any issues with the cars. I will say this, there's a lot less cars on the map. That does help. And the cars travel at speed. They don't drive like 4 miles an hour. So that helps too because you're not running into them. I'm going to send that tractor back for the night. We're going to grab something tomorrow. And so that guy going, there he goes. Yep. Where are the new crops? We haven't done them yet, Jay. I would say tomorrow we'll hit grapes probably. You can have some of that, yes. What's the bad news, Tayloa? Oh, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, what can I do, Tayloa? He also had the game for a week. That's not bad news. It is what it is. There's always going to be bigger guys than me. I've learned that with guitar, too. You know, there's always somebody that's a better guitar player than you. You just play guitar and enjoy it, and that is bad news. Okay, so we're going to speed time back up to, we're going to put it up to 10 or 15 now, 30. Get some time going through. Yeah, and I'm not putting it, how can he put tutorials out already? Are you sure he didn't put out, like he played through the tutorials? And because that's different. Like he probably just played through the tutorials. I don't know. To me, it's like I'd rather play the game a while and I don't know, like really get to know it before I start telling people how to play it because I make a lot of mistakes. 16 tons. There you go. So unlike him, I make a lot of mistakes, and so I have to make a lot of content, and it takes me a lot longer. Front loaders. Let's see. We're going to get the little arms. There we go. Bye. Yep. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we have fun, don't we? That's why I want to try to have fun. And then I can be crabby. Oh, buy and sell land and stuff. Okay, well, I mean, that's legit. That's all legit stuff. Hey, welcome back, Techno. Yeah, we have fun. They're long, too. I talk and talk and talk and say a lot. My wife's always like, can you say more? Aren't you, babe? Well, that's what I try to do. I try to take it back down to getting rid of the mods. Let's focus on what you're supposed to be doing. What I've noticed, have you guys noticed something? It is 3:20 in the afternoon, and it already looks like evening. I love that. The sun is actually going with the seasons. Now, that's something that was in seasons. Fair enough. This really does look like October, though not this year. This year, this looked like the beginning of November. We had such a late change in leaves this year. They finally changed about 2 weeks ago, but, man, we were so far behind. Usually by the 16th, the leaves have changed, and by the end of October, they've all fallen, but we didn't get that this year. We had a very slow year with the leaves. Yo, 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 Super T. Super Tie. Superta? Supert? I don't know. Super something. It's Super Tie. We are going to put this, let's see, we can actually get in here, hopefully. That's going to be a problem. Man, I really screwed this up. Let's see. And once again, we're spending time we shouldn't, doing things that we shouldn't, but... Yeah, true. I try to be very thorough, because I know that I would get lost myself if I wasn't. So, yeah, what nap? We won't talk about that. I made myself some sausages... And then I sat down and did some work on here because I got excited, and I'm thinking about it, and I couldn't relax. So I came on here and bought a couple fields and bought a couple businesses and trying to figure out what we need for tonight's stream. And then I finally, about 6 o'clock, I went to lay down. I laid down, and literally my ex-wife's like, okay, I'm bringing the kids over now. I'm like, okay. And then Seth called and was like, Dad, I forget what he asked me, but he had to ask me something. So then Seth called, and so that woke me up. And then I went back to try to go to sleep, and then Kat texted again and was like, okay, now we're on our way. And I'm like, okay. And then and then my friend Melinda called. She's like, where you been? And I'm like, oh, God, I'm never going to get to sleep. And then, so finally I started dribbling on my pillow, which means I'm going out. This is probably about 6:45. And the dog started barking and would not stop. And I'm like, okay, I give up. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I kind of dozed a little bit, but I didn't really get to take a nap. And then I had to go pick Moni up. So here's we are. I didn't get my nap, but I've had a lot of coffee. And as you can tell, I'm pretty hyper right now. So we should be good for at least a couple hours. What I'm really afraid of is that my voice is going to go. You took 2 naps. Here's one for you. All right. Yep, we planted wheat in the fall. You can actually plant the wheat. There's a couple crops that you can plant year-round and a couple crops you can plant in the fall. So we're going to move this tractor out of the way because he's too big to go in there and work. But, yeah, we're good today, believe it or not. And we will have to buy a washer eventually because I am getting a little crazed feeling about the tractors being dirty. Yep. Yeah, there's only 1 or 2 crops you can plant in the winter. It might just be wheat and barley. I think those are the 2 that you can plant in winter. Oh, my gosh. They're gone. Yeah, because they'd be blown right off, right. Another thing we got to do is this. I really like these one-day cycles. Here we go. How often do you think farmers clean their tractors? I know they clean out like the stuff that causes them to be like any kind of chaff and stuff they'll clean out so that they don't get damaged. But do they? They don't really do it, do they? Yeah, and I've got cough drops here just in case. But I might be putting one in now because my throat's starting to get a little sore. Not because I'm sick, but because of I talk too much. They have added murder hornets. Yes, there's bees in the game. I don't know that they're necessarily murder hornets, but anything else? I need to finish putting this away. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, this looks like fall, like a sunset in fall. This is really cool. We're gonna stay up until it's over. Sorry. Each season of use. Okay. So, and honestly, tractors get used a lot during a season, don't they? So about 4 times a year you wash them. Ugh, that should not be in there. Wow, that sun went down quick. Now it's dark. Yes, I do know. I'm just trying to get to night so we can go sleep for tomorrow. I mean, you can sleep whenever you want, but I wanted to do a little more work. But I guess we're at the point now where I just need to call it a night. You never washed the tractor unless you were working on it? There you go. Yeah, they probably clean them before they put them away for the window, the murder hornets, hoax hornets. I think the implements should not be stored in the barn, to be honest with you. These things can be, but yeah, in the game you have a power washer. In real life, they probably use a power washer or they just soap them. But I think the power washer, you have to like blast the things out because they get like chaff and stuff in them, and it'll clog stuff up. So you got to really clean them out. Yeah, these little arms are much better on this tractor, by the way. Yeah, see, this tractor fits really well in here. Do, 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 do. Boom. My tractor's fun. Yeah. This is a great tractor. Close this door. Close the doors. Oh no, my forks fell through the floor. Oh well, that's going to be fun tomorrow. Hopefully I won't need them. Power washers, yeah. Wow, it's night. Duh. And we're going to slow it back down to, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. We'll just leave those on, whatever. Time to go to bed. Quit screwing around. I left the baler out, you dummy. Oh well, I left the seeder out too. We're gonna put probably wheat down on all the fields that we have. Maybe, I don't know. We gotta look at the chart. So Time for bed. Wake up at 7. Shh. Shh. Hey, P. Peary. I gotta see what that is. Hang on a second. Oh wow, it is dark. P? Peary? Something's in the kitchen. I want to make sure the dogs aren't getting into something. I'll be right back. I'm better. Okay. That friggin' hurt. Oh, it's gonna rain, of course. No, and we need to harvest today. We're gonna. I'll let the time run at 30 then until until it calms down. We have 1 day to harvest. Yikes. Yeah, it is beautiful. Look at that. It's a little repetitive, but I like it. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, you see skies like that sometimes, so. This will be sunrise. I know. Well, we can't really choose. The harvest wasn't ready until today, but it also has to be finished today because it's November. I don't think it'll last into December, so. Oh, by the way, look at this. There's a hole here, so be careful. Because equipment will get stuck unless you go fast. Boink! There we go. Okay, that's great. Not any damage, not even a lick of... Oh, look at the... Oh, gosh, the wheat's already popping. I don't know if that's good or not. 50% fertilized, 50% weed. Okay. Have to kill those weeds. We'll spray them in a bit. We're going to have to get a sprayer, too. Man, I didn't think about all these things. Still have to do the typical crop care. Probably Cromwell. I don't think they would have changed that. Hey, what's up, 44? Good to see you, my friend. All right, so we're going to slow time down now. That looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit. And once we get to time, we'll set it down to 0. So apparently you can actually harvest during the rain. I saw a notification that said, be sure to like don't harvest during the rain because you'll get less yield. So we need to harvest these soybeans. What's up, Leo? So this is ready. How much longer is it going to rain? We're going to speed up time again until it stops. We've got 2 big fields to do today. One's not huge. No, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Kaya Steelers 94. We're going to be working on getting ready to do that. I have a couple factories purchased, but we need to run some harvest and get some materials to send to them. So first of all, it stopped. We've got this soybean that we're going to harvest, and we're just going to sell it. So I don't need that. But I got a huge Kia. Okay, Kia like the car. We have something. I've got a huge field of sugar beets, and I bought the sugar plant, so we're going to make sugar beets into sugar. Once I'm done harvesting this field, we're going to add cows, we're going to add chickens, and we're going to start making the materials that we need to expand the farm. So where is my little tractor? Over here. Yeah, the colors are good. Now we're starting to turn real brown because we're in November. Weight's off, right? Take the weight off. Dude, I love it so far, King Pitt. It's been great. How you doing there, bud? It's good to see you. Let's see. Here we go. If you go to the college where you play cards in summer car. Oh, you can see a ghost? That's hilarious. Yeah, the trees are awesome. Oh no, I haven't had any bugs really, except for like a couple weird things with the sending people places to sell stuff, but it hasn't been anything game breaking. It just, it is what it is. That's how. It's all new stuff, and they said they're working on it still. They said it's not really finished yet, so just patience is required for that. But no, it's not. I really haven't had any issues that have maybe been like, I can't play this. It's been great. If you like Farm Sim 19, you'll love this, and because there's a lot more to do, and it's well done. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's underpinnings. Once again, we're not looking there. I think the graphics are more cartoony, but they're better. I don't know how to explain it. They're sharper. The game flows a little more smoothly. Things feel a little bit more realistic. Thanks, Mr. Patriot. Now, see, the lights are flattening that out. Some of these textures are very 3D looking. See the gravel? Like, it's actually like 3D gravel. So there's just some nice little touches that they've done that I really appreciate, and I think that those are the kind of things that make the game more enjoyable. But then we also have the seasons, the production chains. We have a lot of new equipment. We have new types of things to do to take care of your crops. Different cultivators do different things. It's no longer all cultivators all do the same thing. Now the cultivators actually do different things. So if you use a fast cultivator, you're going to get weeds quicker. If you use a slower cultivator, you're going to get weeds slower. You get more rocks with certain types of cultivators. It's just cool. So, what? Wait, what? If you listen to Grandma talk, she says the pig guy's father died. Could possibly be his dad. I don't know. Oh, the ducks are doing great, Sergeant Dan. Thank you for asking. The big ducks are good. We added another one. My wife got a white mandarin duck, and she's in there with them. I have to catch her every night, though. She hasn't gotten where she's supposed to go for the night. So she just kind of hangs out, and I'm like, dang it. And I have to go in there with a net and net her and put her away so she doesn't get eaten by the raccoons. And then we have a bunch of baby ducks. They're called Khaki Campbells is what they're called. Glad to see you, Sergeant Dan, by the way. Yeah, it's been a while, man. I'm glad to see you back. It's nice to have you back. No, she's not jealous, but she's excited. She's like, I took Monday off. I'm like, yes, because, Monday's when it comes out. And she's like, there is no problem with the raccoons as long as we get the ducks put away every night. If we don't put the ducks away, then there's a problem, and the ducks aren't very happy because there's less of them or none of them. But yeah, there's no issues at all as long as you get them put away. But anyway, she said, I'm going to be home, and I'm going to have on my fluffy slippers and my fluffy pajamas, and you're going to go to Best Buy and get me my copy at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to play all day. So yes, we'll be doing multiplayer all day on Monday. I have not, Gator, but I've heard of him before. I think you sent me a link to him, didn't you? Somebody did. Ooh, going to Alabama. What you doing in Alabama, 44? All right, so we're going to get this field cleared, pull the product off the field, and then we're going to turn it into a parking lot. You woke up the roosters at 4? Yeah, that's a bad idea. Roosters get up about, when the sun comes up. Right when it first starts coming up, they start to crow. Yes, all the header trailers hold the headers. You can actually fasten equipment onto the lowboys. So if you pull a tractor or a piece of equipment onto the lowboy and you put the strap on, it mostly won't fall off. Gator, you're like, Why save it when you can? Well, we need a space. I need chicken coop. I need cow pens. I need greenhouse. I don't even know when we're going to get into grapes and olives and stuff. I'm hoping maybe sometime tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow's stream will be dedicated to those crops. Sorghum, maybe. I don't know. Sorghum makes flour also, so we can grow sorghum. Maybe we'll do that on one of our fields. So, oh wow, that's crazy, Sergeant Dan. Congratulations. And thank you for your service. Even though it's Canadian service, it's still, Canada's or Canada. Thank you for serving in Canada. Thank you for serving, seriously. All joking aside. My son wants to he's kind of contemplating going back in. He may or may not. Marky always changes his mind, but yeah, keep the chicken kick away from the bedroom, right? Because they start to. He wants to go. He's going back into. He's finishing his school. He'll have his college done, like in the next couple of weeks. And he's like, I could go back in and enlist as an officer. Maybe I'll go into the Navy as an officer. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. So, scary. It's scary being in boats nowadays. Oh, that's cool, Sergeant Dan. Or should I say 10-4, good buddy? I'm just kidding. I know they don't say that on. Sorry, I'm being a jerk. Can't help myself. I just am. Ask my wife. Cowabunga. I think she might be asleep already. She was really tired. They had a rough day today. They had to put they had an old horse that just wasn't eating anymore or anything, and they had to put him down today, and so that's always hard. Everybody in the barn it's a horse that's been around. The owners owned it for 20 years. He was 35, I think, or 36, so that was rough for her today. He went peacefully. He didn't fight or anything. Sometimes I guess horses go crazy when you try to put them to sleep, and then they have a shotgun just in case. I'm like, wow, that's kind of frightening and overwhelming. I haven't bought a router in a couple of years. I don't know I wouldn't be able to really recommend you anything because I don't know what's out there. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to do it either. Well, I definitely couldn't do it now. I'm old and fat. They'd be like, no, we don't need you, thanks. All right, so we are going to, I think, once I put these things down, some of this stuff will, yeah, I know. Wow, 2013, your router lasted a long time. I've had mine for probably 4 or 5 years, but, yeah, you might as well go for 20 years because if you do, then you got a pension for life. That's the great thing about the military. You're taken care of forever. But yeah, I haven't done router for a long time. I probably need to upgrade mine. P? Okay, I just heard noise. I didn't know if it was a dog. Yeah, I'd say anything in the $200 range. It depends on how far you need it to reach and how long you want it to last. I bought a Netgear a couple of years ago, and it's been pretty good. It does, occasionally have its issues, but it's been pretty good. Hey, Mr. Micah, like tonight, we're having fun. I sometimes wonder if it's more our cable company that has issues than my router, because sometimes we stream for days and there's no issues, and then sometimes it just acts funky. But what I've noticed too, and I think they do this on purpose, when there's an update that needs to happen, the router starts acting funky. And then all of a sudden you're looking on the router because you're like, why is it running so slow? And look at that. There's a firmware update. So I think they do that on purpose. They make it run crappy so you check it out and see what's going on. And then you're like, oh, there's a firmware update. And then it runs fine. So I hate that. But hey, what's up, Kason? How you doing? $12 years. A couple of my routers lasted 2 years. For a while, I was on a 2-year router streak, but now they're lasting longer. So, yeah, yep. When we first started with them, now they've been doing great. Once again, the backbone of our internet's all fiber. They ran fiber all through the neighborhood. Now, I guess my node is still coaxial because I don't pay for fiber, so I don't get the full speed. But if we had fiber, it would be one down and one up guaranteed, and that would be awesome. So maybe someday I'll see, when the prices come down, we'll consider doing it. But right now I think it's like several $100s a month, and I'm like, nah, don't need it that bad. Like this is working fine for what we're doing. Dying. Yeah, the O key on my keyboard is dying, which is not fine because I love my keyboard, but I'll have to. I have another one in reserve, so I'll have to probably change it out eventually because it's starting to get to the point where I'm getting annoyed. Hey, what's up, Runa? Yep, so we're finishing up a quick soybean harvest here, and we're going to turn this into hallowed ground for our businesses and cow pasture. Is it fin or fun? Or fine? What are you Case in point. What is it? We don't know. I'm just going to sell these soybeans. So what brand is my micro? It is actually an Audio-Technica microphone, and I have it. It's actually really loud right now. I had it turned up so there. That's better. I had it turned up so my you could hear my wife. So now I can put it back near my face. It's a headset. It's basically a broadcasting headset, big honking headphones, and a nice microphone. It's basically like their version of the SM58. So no power. It's not a phantom mic. It's just a straight up microphone, which is nice because it should last longer. But it's pretty sensitive and it sounds good. I used to use a Behringer B2 Pro. I still have it. Yeah, I think it's more appealing to the i2. A lot of people are criticizing it, but I don't. I think it's good. I think it's real good. No, I really like it. I'm happy with the way it looks. It is a little more colorful, like cartoony looking. I like that, though. That's why I like 17. 17, once again, was more cartoony looking than 15. But I liked it. So, yeah, I like it when it's a little bit more brilliant colored. But also the graphics are sharper for sure. Sorry, Mr. Mike. Wait, that's terrible. I have 300 down and 20 up, and it's $99. But that doesn't include cable. I don't have internet TV or phone. I just have the internet. But it's 300 down, and it's supposed to be 30 up, but it's 20. I know. For those of you watching, I know I've been yelled at a couple times already today for having early. They're like, "How come you have early access?" Well, I don't know. 'Cause people liked me. So we're gonna fill this up. No, my ears are burning after a 4-hour stream. Yes, they aren't. They are comfortable, but they're not super comfortable. So there is that. I'm going to bring this guy up towards the street because he's going to get lost with this cedar parked here and with all these things that are blocking the road now. So yeah, I would say it's nice, but it's a little heavy, and the microphone is heavy, so that makes a difference. So some people do, some people don't. I got yelled at today by a couple people. They didn't like me or my wife. I'm like, okay. I'm like, there's lots of other channels out there, and they're like, you're being snarky. I'm like, oh no, I was really serious. Like, there's lots of other channels out there. If you don't like my channel, go watch another channel because there's lots of other channels out there. Anyway, I'm such a jerk. Okay, so we're going to take a look at prices. I need to figure out where we got canola. And right now, the highest price is at Johnson's Farmer Market. How about that? So we're going to go here. I'm going to go to this guy, create a job. He's going to go to, we're going to do a deliver to Johnson's Farmer Market. And it's not looping. It's just a one. Yeah, we'll do looping because he'll come back. Okay. And then we're going to go for it. See you later. So he's going to go do that. It hasn't snowed yet, but we're going to get there. So, hey, what's up, A-Bird? The sounds are way more realistic. And the game now has, I forgot that people are asking about things, and I forgot about this. If you want, the game actually has manual transmissions in it now with clutch operation. So you can now use your stick shift and your clutch and drive your tractor with a clutch and a stick shift. So, yes, it's actually working transmissions in the game now. That is a new feature that has come out for 22. Obviously, tractors that have CVTs obviously are still CVTs, but now hang on a second. I got to let the dogs out. Hold on.